Good Friday morning. Here's Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is the 6th of October. We had a little bit of bounce in US market yesterday, not much really, but off the lows. S&P 500 has bounced from the 38.2 projection of this, and it is measured from the head to the neckline. But there's still a downside potential. However, the 200 moving average will offer some support there. Nasdaq 100 a little bit lower yesterday, but not much really. Still below this gap area here. It needs to close this gap area to at least on the short term put this downtrend on pause, but it needs to move back above these levels here around the cloud and above the 55 moving average for to resume uptrends. In Europe, this time we will have a little bit look at the EuroStoxx 50 index. And I know we have a lot of clients trading it. It is, but it looks very similar to the DAX index, really. But it's bounced just above the 40-30 level here, where we have some strong support around this level. I think we will see, and it's the general picture in Europe, we will see a little bit of a bounce in the next couple of days, of course, depending on what the numbers will tell us later today that is planned to be announced. But a little bit of bounce, but there's strong resistance around 42.10 on EuroStoxx. On DAX, bounced off the 14,933, just a few cents above that, and I think we could have a little bit of a bounce in the next couple of days, a reaction after the sell-off earlier this week or late last week. But the trend is down on the DAX. Very strong support here around 715, 716 on AEX. Also expect a little bit of a bounce, but the trend is down unless we move back above and close back above 736. Belgian market getting back above the 34.64, the lows from back here from June. We are in a downtrend, but expect some correction up to around 3,500, possibly up to just below 35.50. But I don't think we will see much higher than that. As you can see here, also on the weekly, we are in a downtrend. Finally, when we're talking about stock markets, we have CAC 40 also in a downtrend. Trying to get back up above the 7,052. We might do it, but we will still be in a downtrend. It really needs to break this falling trend line here and at least get back above the 7,200 level to try to get some upside traction at all. On the FX fronts, we have a bit of a bounce in euro dollar and also cable, which we are going to talk about in a minute. We can see that the RSI is slowly crawling higher, testing the 40 threshold from the other side, and I think we will see a correction in euro dollar up towards around 106.20, 35, where we have some strong resistance around this level, and the upper falling trend line there too. But look out for a break above the very short-term falling trend line. But I think we could test that level. If the buyers can gain some strength, well, then there is room up to the 38.2 retracement of the entire downtrend here to 107.60-65 level. On cable, almost similar picture, actually broken above its falling trend line there. 122.75. There's some resistance around there, but I think we can spike up to around 123. But in the bigger picture, we are in a downtrend, but it seems like we are going to have a correction. It could move higher, however, but let's talk about that when we get up to around, and if we get up to around that level there. On the dollar yen side, well, broken bearish out of this rising wedge-like pattern. At least it's broken below the steep rising trend line here after this very, how you say, spike down to the 147.30 support area. I'm not quite sure we will get down to test it again. It seems like we could possibly just trading sideways. Yen pairs seem a little bit indecisive at the moment, and it is a little bit of struggle. However, medium term, there is still room up to the previous peak around just below 152. So expect a bit of volatility and a little bit of tug of war between buyers and sellers. Euro yen slowly moving higher, and I think it's fair to say that we can remove this one and say, okay, we are in a bigger range, but we are basically in a downtrend. It's not yet confirmed on the RSI. It bounced off 40. Look out for support around 155.5. That is the key. We also have the 100 moving average giving some support there. So we could again just be stuck in this range between 158 down to around 155 in this range here for a little while. However, we should see a correction. Also, looking at the weekly chart, it is very upstretched. We have some divergence here. You can see the values are declining. So weakening of the trend. Also, yen bouncing off after this sell-off here, trying to get back above this rising trend line here. So that's going to be interesting in the next couple of days. However, we are back above the cloud. We are back above the moving averages. So let's see where we end the Friday. Friday closing will be very interesting. We have sterling yen also moving higher here into the cloud again after a strong bounce, but as you can see, we are in a downtrend short term, and it seems like it's forming maybe some kind of a toppist pattern here, but let's see where we end the week. We need at least to get back above 184.40 for confirmation of any kind of an uptrend. Then let's jump to the dollar index. Dollar index uptrend quite stretched. We could see a move to test the lower rising trend line in this channel. We have key support 105.35. If breaking below that, I will actually say if we break below the lower rising trend line, there's a good chance that we will move down to test the 38.2 retracement at 104 level here, but there will be some support around 105.34. Moving on to commodities, and we'll start with gold. That looks very, it's kind of rounding off down here, and I think we will see a correction after some extremes on the RSI below 25, actually down around 20. We should see a correction towards the 1850, 1870 level here in the next couple of days. It is not unlikely, however, that the 1800 level, 1804, will be tested. And again, I can't reiterate it enough. This how important this support level is here. It's not unlikely that we'll spike down to the 61.8 retracement of the entire uptrend. But as you can see, the 200 moving average here on the weekly is giving some support, so quite interesting. But let's see, we could still be in for a couple of volatile days. Also, silver seems to trying to gather some strength down here below the 21.25 support that it actually broke below. I wouldn't be surprised to see it moving back above, but I don't think it will move back above 22.15, which is a key strong resistance now. It used to be, as you can see here on the week, it used to be a very strong support, so quite heavy on the heavy side, but we should see a correction there. Copper 354.50, very close to that for the third day straight, and I think we now will see a bit of a correction higher, possibly back above the 362.70 level. I'm not quite sure we'll get to the 370, but it's not unlikely to test this falling trend line here. But we have the 100 and we have the 55 moving average coming down, kind of putting a lid on it here and add some resistance to this short-term downtrend. But again, 354.50 really key support level. On the energy side, we have massive moves in in both Brent and crude oil. Moving to around the 50% of the entire uptrend, we are below 78.6 of the last leg up. So a little bit overshooting here, I believe. Still, there could be maybe a couple of dollars more push down towards here, but the key support around 81.75. I think we will. This is almost it. I think we will see here over the next couple of days, going into next week, we will see a market moving back towards the 88 level on Brent, and on WTI. Could dip down to the 786 retracement at 81.35, and we have the 50% of the last leg up there. Then I think we will see a correction or a bounce higher. Finally, when we are talking about energy, what is interesting to see, Henry Hub gas traded in New York has broken above its key resistance at $3, and you can see here on the weekly how key it is. I mean, first of all, on daily tested several times, now it finally broke above, and now it is on the move. It is in a bullish trend, and there's room short term up to around 362. The Dutch gas is not really moving much, so not much to say there. Finally, US 10-year. After spiking higher just below 490. I mean, there's still possibly a correction down to around 456, which is the 38.2 retracement at this level. I think we will see it, but then we are still in an uptrend, and we will remain in an uptrend. We need to move much lower to not be in an uptrend. So higher levels is expected on the US 10-year. That's all for today. I hope you have a nice Friday. We'll speak again Wednesday next week. I'll be out of office Monday and Tuesday. Sorry about that. Have a nice weekend and have a trading.